Okay, so I found this blog, and I basically think it's just MRA. I don't know. I guess like one of those culture war alt right people. See, I'm just gonna read it, and um, yeah, let's read one of the paragraphs. What does this say? No, this isn't. Zoom into it. Okay, I'll just read it. Female emancipation never lasts because peoples, tribes, cultures, states, and religions with emancipated females fail to reproduce. Pretty soon, Japan will not have the Japanese. They either restore patriarchy, as the Japanese have done once before, or they will be conquered by many patriarchs who enslave their women, as happened to the Chinese, or they just disappear and are replaced by outsiders. That's probably. I'm just gonna take cut in and say that's probably their whole. This person's probably like really race conscious. Let's say that peoples with emancipated women cannot fight very well because they are short of young males. Because involuntarily celibate young males prefer to hang out in their mom's basement. Because because young males are reluctant to fight for family, society, sovereign, and God, because they don't have family. They are even more reluctant when society, official state religion, and the sovereign is hostile to them, having sexual opportunity, and ejects husbands from their families. Why fight when you have no pussy to fight for? Well, that just explains male behavior right there. That's male motivation. And if you get married, likely face a court ordering pardoning you from your children and denying you of your assets. Our descendants will. This isn't even grammatically correct. Our descendants will patriarchs. Or we will be mighty short of grandchildren and will be replaced by patriarchs. I hope this person's a troll, but who knows these days. So, but I'm just gonna assume they're not a troll. And yeah, I'll basically just respond to this. So basically, I think one interesting thing is this person basically says that basically you can't have a society without enslaving women, which, first of all, if humans can't have a society without enslaving women, maybe we should go extinct. But at the same time, I personally don't want to die. I don't want to go extinct, so I do. I mean, I know I've heard some people say that they think that society will begin to collapse by 2022. I hope it doesn't happen, but I've been hearing these things. But yeah, I think. I mean, I do understand why many people would give up on humanity, but yeah, I need to research that more, I suppose. But yeah, so basically this person just this person is actually shitting on males. Because basically if pussy's the only thing you care about, I mean that's basically their basis of everything if you think about it. Or okay, not all males, yeah. But I mean men are the ones saying this. So it's important to remember when I mean, many women will get upset when you kind of insult males, but they're the ones who insult themselves. So I think I wrote some stuff what I want to talk about here. Basically, okay, I'll just say this person is most likely a fascist. And I think one thing about, at least the very extreme fascism, is that in those societies, it doesn't matter what sex you are. They both positions suck, but yeah. So basically, the males are death machines. I think the women are life machines, or I guess you could say more appropriately, baby making machines. And that is also where I'll get into my next point, is that there, I mean, I do want to, my first instinct is just, or my first desire is to just laugh at how stupid this guy is. But I think he is saying a very interesting point that we should, as feminists, think about. And that is that if you treat women as baby making machines, that can be a strategy for success, especially in times not in scarcity. This doesn't work in scarcity. This kind of fails in scarcity. Well, maybe not fails, but it kind of can mess up in scarcity, in too much scarcity. But in times of war, this is a potential strategy that a lot of people do use, because the more people you have to fight, more manpower you have. That's why it's called manpower. And though I think this is one positive that automation could bring if used correctly. Because, I mean, my dream is that we have just mecha battles. Not even mecha, just like remote control. Just use the machines to fight, and whoever has the best technical power wins. That obviously has some unfairness, but I think it could help some things, but then probably could also probably make things worse. I'm just putting out an interesting analysis or idea. So yeah, I guess my point here is that there's always going to, as long as there's some patriarchy on this planet, there is going to be, people are going to use this strategy, because they are viewing women as property, they're viewing women as objects, they're viewing women as, just tools. And another thing I think is that we really can't, feminists cannot afford to be racist at all. Or even like, I don't know, because if you are, because this whole idea is basically just about caring about your own blood, caring about how your lineage, your clan or tribe or whatever is going to live on, your country. And a lot of times when you hear about this, they will definitely, like, you see many cultures try to encourage women to reproduce a lot. I mean, in nature, usually on their own devices, most have 1 or 2 kids. That's usually the most. Not, people don't have 6 kids. Some do, but most do not. But obviously, a lot of these people want more kids. And especially, I mean, that is why Muslim people have a lot of children. That's why, I mean, these Mexicans have a lot of children. I'm not trying to say that we should try to keep these people out of the borders, but I think just keep in mind that if you do have, Mexican Muslim friends, just keep in mind that they do come from a patriarchal culture, and I guess if I knew these people, I would try to encourage them to, not have to obey a either male deity, father, husband, because, I mean, that's what these cultures are about, and obviously the U.S. too, but it is to a lesser extent, but it's still there. It's still in every culture, especially every religion. I mean, don't be a Christian apologist or any major religion apologist, because if you look into the books, you'll see that they do talk about the enslavement of women a lot of time. I've been reading those. I've been going on YouTube. I'm never going to religion, not an established one, at least one that's been established for like a long time, because those are just about enslaving women. Like I said, kind of repeat myself. Sorry. What else did I say? So yeah, basically, I'd also say, obviously, fascism is not compatible with feminism at all. And also, one interesting thing is that other people have noticed this, but some women are going to these traditionally conservative religions, or even the right, politically, because they do feel as though, a lot of people do feel as though that, I guess they think the liberal side is treating women as sex objects. I mean, you do see that they are, trying to market all this makeup product and think it's empowering, but it's really just draining your bank and putting toxic chemicals on your face. And also, I think, especially with all this, I guess a lot of people also have a problem with sexual promiscuousness. I've noticed that's what one of my friends who was was on the liberal side, but now is straight up a conservative. That is partially because of the, just read Right Wing Woman by Andrea Dorkin, which I read. Basically describes why conservative women are conservative, which a lot of people don't realize why. But I mean, the left does have, or the liberal side does have problems, but obviously going to the more traditional religious side isn't an answer because of how restrictive it is. Okay, yeah, something. Okay, so I guess basically what I'm trying to say is that we do, as a society, we need to think about alternative family structures, which I want to do some reading on, but I haven't got to it yet, but I will attempt to do that. Because the nuclear family does isolate women. I mean, the problem isn't even necessarily women taking care of kids. That's not necessarily the problem. The problem is that women were restricted to the private sphere, and that is not good. Like, if, let's just say, they always talk about the family, let's just say that. I mean, you're also restricting kids. This is, this is all about men not wanting to take accountable of their actions, because they do, like you say, oh yeah, we want to keep the women and children safe, but then safe from who? It's safe from the men. They should be the ones locked in, if that is your logic, or reasoning of logic. Let's see, what else do I need to say? Basically, I think that if people are getting married, I would, especially in if you think it's going to be like a very patriarchal traditional marriage, I would greatly try to encourage the woman to encourage you, for any of you guys who are going to marry, who are watching this, I don't know if much people are, but to always rely on men as little as possible, to always try to have some sort of income, even if it isn't very good, or at the very least train for something that can get you money. Because if you're just being a stay-at-home mom and you're not training or even getting money, then if your husband does either die, abuse you, or become disabled, you're in trouble, and your kid's gonna be in trouble too. So yeah, I think also another thing I got from this article, or this paragraph, I didn't really read too, or I did read the article, I just don't want to just kind of goes on religious tangents, is that it does have, feminism does have to be a global just issue. It does have to be a global movement, because it does affect every culture. And I think also another thing is that I think many liberals, well, actually they do, but they usually do that from, actually they really, yeah, they do focus on abortion, which is good. But I wish more feminists would think about the reproduction role, but like just the biological role. Because in reality, women do sacrifice more to have a kid. Even without the patriarchy, technically. Though, and then you also see that these men do want women to have more kids, but then as a whole, you see women aren't even respected for it. I mean, a lot of MRAs say, I hate that my wife is taking my money, but then they're also like, I hate when the women are working because they're slower, they're stupider. Like, then they just want society to die too, I think. So many of them are like, we need more children to help our pension programs. But then they don't even respect women when they have kids. So this is a major problem that they need to answer for or something. That's so stupid. And yeah, I mean, what's it read here? See, basically, if you ever do get married, I'll just prepare for the worst case scenario. Everyone's like, oh yeah, my husband's gonna be, I love my husband, I trust my husband, but that's what they all say. I hate to say this, but that is what they all say. I mean, no one marries someone they don't trust, so they can be sneaky. And also, right after pregnancy, so many men just become, mildly, they just slack off on chores, slack off on stuff. But the worst case, they can become neglectful or even abusive, because they know that a woman is most vulnerable after she's given birth. Because many of them are scum. So just keep that in mind too. And yeah, I do think that there needs to be more female only, I guess, spaces, villages, that whatever, even. Just whether it's just a group or whether it's a housing complex, or even, I know it's a shooting far, but maybe one day a country. That'd be great. So I think that should be it for now.